18th.
You're watching News Channel 2 at sunrise with Gary Liberatore.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
Boy, you can hear that rain coming down. It is heavy.
Yeah, it is raining, and even raining some more. Yeah. A lot of the area is seeing a good amount, already over an inch and a half in some areas, and it's not letting up anytime soon. Let's take a look at those rainfall totals this morning. Already, Woodgate clocking in with 1.7 inches of rainfall so far. Old Forge, 1.5 inches. Almost all of central New York is already over an inch of rainfall. And taking a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, for the radar, if this was about 20 degrees cooler, this would be definitely a doozy of a snowstorm. But as with this season so far, it's producing nothing but rain, and will expect to produce nothing but rain until the back side of this produces some light snow heading into tomorrow. So watch out for ponding on roadways. We do have some flood watches in effect right now. No flood warnings in our immediate area, but we'll of course let you know if things do change. So heading out the door today, grab that umbrella, obviously. Rain jacket, rain boots, pretty much anything rain-wise as you head out, and budget some extra time in case you encounter some ponding on roadways. Temperatures today cooling down, starting out in the mid to upper 40s, down into the low 40s by this evening, and then even cooler temperatures are on the way for the work week. Full details on that coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. One person is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. A look at your CommuteCast this morning. Might have some ponding on roadways as you head out the door. Minor flooding also possible in poor drainage areas. We're continuing to monitor area rivers and streams. If anything does seem out of the ordinary, some of them, especially one at Oneida Creek, could be approaching minor flood stage by the time this event is over and done with. But you can see again heavy rain this morning. By your evening commute, scattered rain showers, not too bad, but still we're monitoring those conditions here locally. One thing I'm pointing out right here is the arterial, Route 12, right moving through Utica. There is, of course, ponding on some parts of the side of the road. That's at least from my experience driving in this morning. Some areas could still see some wet roads as well. And we're not done with the rain just yet. Still got widespread, moderate to heavy rainfall across the area. And of course, we'll continue to track this throughout the next hour and a half. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Former President Trump is on the campaign trail.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Well, Monday today is starting out with heavy rain showers across the area. A lot of us already picking up over an inch and a half in some places, and I would not be surprised if widespread totals could approach 2 inches across central New York. As you head out this morning, watch out for ponding on roadways. You can see right here, rainfall has collected in at least poor drainage areas on those roads. Temperatures near 50 this morning with heavy rain, so it is mild. Grab that rain jacket. However, those temps will cool throughout the day as warmer air from the south shifts eastward, and we get more of that cool air from the west. And so a heads up, we do have a flood watch in effect through today. Watch out for flood-prone areas, poor drainage spots, streets, and small creeks that could see possibly minor flooding by the time all this is said and done. And you can see right here on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, atop the radar, a good amount of rainfall is taking place. These yellows and reds are indicating heavier rainfall rates. Usually you see these with thunderstorms. But again, this is producing a good amount of rainfall, and this is continuing to push north. Behind that, though, still some more rain showers south of us, and then eventually this whole system will gradually shift east, bringing an end to the widespread rain. So you can see right here, chance of rain for the next several hours gradually diminishing as we head into the evening tonight, and this will switch over to light snow showers by the time Tuesday morning arrives. So Where's the cold air? Well, it is way out to the west. This cold front out near Wisconsin, Upper Peninsula, and Michigan. So with that cold air firmly in place out west, this is only going to produce rain showers here for today. Now on our Skycast, you can see, of course, plenty of heavy rainfall right here, continuing throughout the morning, letting up a little bit by 10 to 11 a.m. and then maybe a dry slot moving in closer to the mid-afternoon, but regardless, still expect scattered showers, unsettled weather for today as that wind turns more westerly, and we'll start to get rain showers turning over to light snow as those temperatures fall by early Tuesday. Minor accumulations expected. I'm thinking a dusting to an inch possibly in the Mohawk Valley, a few inches possible just south in the highest elevations. And so for today, heavy morning rain letting up in the evening, highs currently in the morning. Tonight, down into the 20s with light rain and snow showers. Your 7-day forecast, rain showers turning over to snow for Tuesday, but behind that, heading into the final day of fall, first day of winter, it's pretty quiet for this time of year. And we do have Christmas Eve next Sunday, and the trend is it's still upper 30s, low 40s. Right now, no major weather system on the horizon, so we could be seeing a pretty quiet stretch heading to Christmas.
Yeah, green Christmas. Eric, thanks. Right now, a bull is captured on and a little quietness for us this morning.
A little quiet, a little serenity.
Nice. Yes, the serenity. I like that. Good morning, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libichor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
Quiet down here, noisy up there. Boy, that rain is coming down.
Oh yeah, I think without the music, you can probably hear it on the roof up there. Yeah, it's definitely rainy right now. It has been raining for pretty much the entire night. It's still raining this morning, and it will rain until probably early this afternoon for showers turn more scattered. Rainfall totals this morning have already reached the, I would say, 1.5-inch mark for a lot of the area. Look at those rainfall totals right here. You can see the highest total, Woodgate in northern Oneida County, 1.86 inches of rain. Herkimer, 1.5 inches, give or take a few decimals. 1.72 up in Old Forge, 1.61 inches of rain down in Lawrence. And yes, this is a nor'easter, but it is lacking the cold air component, so we're just getting rain showers for now. So you can see that heavy rain band currently pushing directly through central New York, currently directly over Utica right now on the border of Oneida and Herkimer County. And we'll still push north. We do have flood advisories just issued within the past few minutes or so. This will be until 8:15 this morning. So again, watch out for poor drainage areas. Roadways could see some ponding on them as well. So grab that rain jacket, rain boots, umbrella, basically anything rain-wise as you head out the door this morning, and budget maybe an extra minute or two at a time in case you do encounter some minor flooding on either roadways or encountering some of those streams that could be on the minor flood. I'd say on the minor flooding side. But for today, though, highs in the upper 40s, cooling down throughout the day with scattered showers this evening. We have a look at what to expect after today in detail coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. And new this morning, we are getting our first look at some of the damage the storm has caused as it's made its way up and down the east seaboard. The coastal nor'easter prompted high waves and flooding as it passed along the South Carolina coast yesterday. Heavy rain combined with high tides washed away docks along the shoreline and littered debris along some roadways. And our own Hannah down there probably doing some pretty intense forecasting this morning. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are...
The Cooperstown Cam is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
It's a beautiful shot right there of a Cooperstown camera. Now, widespread rain this morning. It was a different scene as we look back a week ago today. Here's a look at a beautiful scene in Westford taken from Mark. You can see this beautiful shot here of appears to be a nice pond in that heavy wet snow on those trees. Again, this is part of our new segment where we showcase some beautiful photos, weather photos you guys send in to us. So if you want to have your picture on here at News Channel 2 at sunrise or posted on our Facebook page, send your photos to wktv.com/weather/pics. Of course, if you want your credit, include your name as well. Otherwise, we will just show the picture. Now, besides that, we're talking about widespread rain on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, and this rain shower will continue to shift north, and wind speeds still are looking on the calmer side. Thankfully, we're only dealing with rain showers and not very strong winds. Gary?
Eric, thanks. A consumer alert to tell you about this morning. There's a chilling.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. Widespread heavy rainfall continuing to move across central New York this morning. Rainfall totals continuing to rise above 1.5 inches. Latest totals so far are nearing 1.8 inches of rainfall, especially in southern or northern Otsego County. Let's take a live look at downtown Utica. Ponding on roadways, you can see right there on Route 5. Might be hard to see actually with some of the rain on that lens, but as you look ahead towards the next few hours, still widespread heavy rainfall with temperatures in the upper 40s, near 50 degrees. So we have a flood watch in effect through today. Watch out for flood-prone areas, especially poor drainage spots in streets and small creeks. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Right now, we do have a flash flood warning in effect. Let's zoom into that right here. It is for northwestern Otsego County, including the towns of Edmiston, just to the west of Burlington, Route 51, North Edmiston, just south of Plainfield into parts of Garrettsville. Again, watch out for minor flooding in poor drainage areas in that location. And the rainfall will continue for this morning, gradually letting up by this afternoon before it will slowly turn over to light snow showers by the early morning hours for Tuesday. So this will be a longer duration event, at least only for today though, as things do dry out. Now, a nor'easter, a pretty strong one too, but we are thankfully lacking those winds. And the cold air firmly in place out in the west, currently in the upper peninsula of Michigan and Wisconsin. So with that cold air all the way over there, this will not produce any heavy snowfall here locally. But as this system continues to push east, we'll start to see some light snow showers by tomorrow. So you can see the widespread heavy rainfall this morning continuing for your morning commute. Again, watch out for ponding on roadways. By the afternoon, scattered light rain showers continuing, turning more westerly with those winds. You can see those light rain showers turning over to snow as those temperatures fall and that cold front pushes through. And so light snow showers are expected as we head into Tuesday. Light accumulations possible in the I-90 corridor with maybe a couple inches or more in the highest elevations just south of the valley. So for today, highs near 50 this morning, cooling down throughout the day, with rain showers also gradually letting up. Tonight, light rain and snow showers, temperatures falling into the 20s. Your 7-day forecast, light snow for your Tuesday. After that, though, it's looking pretty quiet weather-wise. Sunshine Wednesday, first day of winter, also seeing sunshine, highs near 40. And for the rest of the week, into the weekend, maybe some light snow rain on Saturday, but that's really give or take, not really seeing any major system for the next few days.
Wow, a lot of sunshine too coming up.
A lot of sun.
Here in December. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:53. Still ahead on Sunday.
You're watching News Channel 2 at sunrise with Gary Liberator.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday. I'm Gary Liberator.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And you were mentioning if we were about 10 to 15 degrees colder, this could be like a few feet of snow, right?
Yeah, a few feet, And that's being kind of decently a doozy of a storm if this was all snow. It is all rain. And getting some updates coming in from the National Weather Service. We have flood advisories that were just issued for Herkimer County as well. They are also part of a different weather service area. Oneida County, Otsego County, part of Binghamton, Herkimer County, part of Albany. So we do have a flood warning in effect for southern, or I should say northwestern Otsego County until 9 a.m. I'll get into that in just a minute. But so far, rainfall totals near 2 inches up in Woodgate and 1.85 inches in Old Forge, 1.55 in Westmoreland, and still over 1.5 inches over in Springfield. I'll have more totals from reports across the area coming up in the next half hour. You can see widespread rain continuing across the area this morning, still not letting up right now. And we do have, again, that flood warning in this area right here for Edmiston, just in parts of Garrettsville, Pittsfield, West Exeter. And you can see also flood advisories in effect for the rest of central New York. And so heading out the door today, grab anything rain-wise, umbrella, rain boots, rain jacket, maybe some extra time too, ponding on roadways possible. And we're still going to be monitoring area rivers and streams. If anything does approach flood stage, we'll of course let you know. And so today, widespread heavy rainfall this morning, gradually letting up by this afternoon, with temperatures cooling throughout the day. We'll talk about what to expect after today into the rest of work week coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, one person is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. Good morning. Happy Monday. A look at your morning commute cast for today. Again, ponding on roadways possible this morning with those widespread heavy rain showers. Rain will gradually let up this afternoon and this evening, but still some areas will still see minor flooding, especially in poor drainage areas. And here is a live view from across the Mohawk Valley, especially the Utica area right here. You can see in the bottom right corner, Route 12, Route 8, wet roads, but generally okay. The arterial in Utica, ponding on the side of the road. So as typically when we get heavy rainfall, this area usually sees poor drainage and of course ponding on those roadways. Clinton Street, Route 69, still looking on the wet side, and you can see Genesee Street here wet and of course ponding on those roadways. Widespread heavy rainfall this morning. It will continue to shift up north. We have that flood warning in effect in northwestern Otsego County, and also a new flood warning that just been issued for parts of Shenango County. We don't specifically cover this area, but I'll go into more detail on this coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Former President Donald Trump is on the campaign.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. Happy Monday. It's a definitely rainy start to the day today with widespread heavy rainfall taking place across central New York. A look at those rainfall totals this morning from some more reports. You can see a good amount of rain has fallen. 1.8 inches up in Forestport, 1.8 inches in New Hartford as well. Boonville clocking in over 2 inches of total rainfall, and rain is still falling across a lot of the area. And you can see in our Nexus camera looking at downtown Utica, Route 5 ponding on those roadways. Now, most roads, they have better drainage are fine, but for example, the arterial in Utica, definitely some rainy spots and good amount of puddles there on those side spots as well. Current temperature 49 degrees, very mild this morning. Heavy rainfall cooling down throughout the day today, and the heavy rainfall will lighten up as the daytime progresses. And so with flood advisories in effect, watch out for flood prone areas, poor drainage spots, streets, small creeks, even some ponds as well. And on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar right now, widespread rainfall. Zooming in on some flood warnings in effect right now, flash flood warnings. We do have one in effect for northwestern Otsego County, including Edmiston, Route 51, towns just west of Burlington into Garrettsville and Cartown. And this one over here in Chenango County and part of Cincinnatus, part of Visalia, Smithville, Route 41 into south. Again, we do have a few flood warnings generally south of us, but as you can see, most of central New York still on the rainy side. Now, this is technically a nor'easter. However, lacking that cold air. That cold air is firmly in place out here near Michigan and parts of Wisconsin. So with that being so far out, we're only dealing with heavy rainfall. No heavy snow is expected from this system. And so on our Skycast, widespread heavy rainfall this morning, clearing out by around 10, 11 a.m., but still seeing scattered rain showers throughout the day today. Maybe a lull in the rain by the evening, but as winds shift more westerly, we'll start to see additional rain showers turning over to snow as those overnight temperatures fall into the 30s and in some cases 20s. And light snow expected for your Tuesday, maybe a trace to an inch in the Mohawk Valley. Higher totals possible generally south of the Mohawk Valley I-90 corridor. So for today, highs in the upper 40s, cooling down throughout the afternoon, letting up with rain in the evening. For tonight, down into the 30s and 20s, light rain and snow showers, 7-day forecast. Light snow tomorrow, heading into Wednesday and Thursday, first day of winter, looking dry and quiet. Temperatures near 40, and the quiet stretch of weather looks to continue into Friday, Saturday, Christmas Eve, and eventually into Christmas. So if things hold right now, unfortunately, those who want to see a white Christmas might not see it, but it will feel a little bit like Christmas with those 30-degree temperatures.
Yeah, and overnight's looking pretty chilly over the next several days as well.
Oh yeah, 20s.
Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on
You're watching News Channel 2 at sunrise with Gary Liberator.
Good morning once again. I am Gary Liberator.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And that shot we had from downtown Utica, that car went by at the perfect time. You saw all that water
Look
coming
behind us too. You
Yeah.
can see the ponding on the roadways, especially on poor drainage areas. This is Route 5 behind us right now. Another area too we're checking out. Oh, look at that, right behind us as well. Cool shot.
Yeah.
In Route 12, the arterial, also seeing some ponding on those roadways. Pretty much any area that has poor drainage could see that. Now, widespread rainfall still taking place across central New York. The heaviest of the rainfall is over and done with, but we're not done with the rain just yet. In fact, looking at a time lapse of the past several hours, all that yellow and red has continued to push north. Currently in parts of the North Country right now as well, but we're taking a look at this system right here, this trailing part of that cold front that will start to push eastward. That is where we'll see additional rainfall. Flash flood warning in effect for this area in red, including Edmiston, Garrettsville, just outside of Burlington and West Exeter as well, and flood advisories for the rest of central New York, just south of the Rome area in southern Oneida County, southern Herkimer County, and all of the southern tier. And so heading out the door, grab anything rain-wise, umbrella, rain jacket, rain boots. It's a rainy one out there. Budget some extra time in case you want to slow down on some roads that could have some minor flooding and ponding on roadways. So for today, temperatures starting out near 50, cooling down throughout the morning and early afternoon, down into the low 40s by this evening. The heaviest rainfall will come to an end. Scattered rain showers this evening, turning to snow tomorrow. Details on that coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. New this morning, we are getting our first look at some of the damage that the nor'easter has caused in its eastern seaboard, way up the coast here. The coastal nor'easter prompted high waves and flooding as it passed along the South Carolina coast yesterday. And our own Hannah Evans, who is down there, has been doing cut-ins for her channel down there all morning long. Heavy rain combined with high tides washed away docks along the shoreline and littered debris along many roadways. In Washington, lawmakers on
The Cooperstown Cam is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
Good morning and welcome back. We do have some new information on a flood warning that is in effect for Oneida Creek. I'm going to lay out some new information we have right here. So Well, looks like it's not popping up right there, but I will tell you the latest information. Impacts, Maxwell Field, lower portion of East Sand Street are flooded at this point. At 6:15 a.m., the stage was at 5.8 feet. Bankfull stage is at 10 feet, and it's expected to crest over 12.3 feet this evening, which will be in minor flood stage. This is minor flooding, but still expect some impacts at Oneida Creek. Now, radar still showing rainfall, not done with it just yet. Heaviest rain has pushed north, but we'll still see some more rain showers arrive as the evening progresses. Now, on a lighter note, however, showing your morning weather photo, here's a complete opposite picture taken last week. Beautiful winter scene right there in Westford, sent in by Mark. If you want your picture on News Channel 2 at sunrise and post it on our Facebook page, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Gary?
Eric, thanks. New information on a consumer alert. We told you.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning and welcome back. We have new flood warnings in effect this morning as widespread rainfall continues across central New York. So let's get to that right now. Flood advisories, the light green is in effect for a lot of the area. The dark red, the maroon, is a flash flood warning. That is in effect for northwestern Oneida County. As a matter of fact, let me turn on the labels to indicate the town location instead of county. There we go. So zooming in, maroon color right here, Edmiston, Burlington, parts of West Exeter, West Burlington, Garrettsville, Pittsfield, all in a flash flood warning. West Canada Creek is in a flood warning right now. It is expected to crest above minor flood stage of 12.3 feet this evening. It'll then fall below flood stage later on in the night. Another area too, as with typical flooding situations, is West Canada Creek. Currently heading close to flood stage. It's actually going faster than the River Monitor forecast. Above 6.7 feet this afternoon. It will then fall below flood stage this evening. Flood stage is at 6 feet, so again, it will be expected to crest above that. Now, rainfall totals continuing to fall. This is from the past half hour. Already over 2 inches in some areas in Boonville. Almost all of central New York above 1.5 inches. And would not be shocked if we all see over 2 inches of rainfall, with rainfall rates, at least early this morning, about ½ an inch per hour. Downtown Utica on a Nexus camera, still seeing ponding on some area roadways right now, primarily in poor drainage areas. And for the current conditions right now, heavy rain, temperatures still on the mild side in the upper 40s. It will cool down throughout the day, but of course, no rain or no snowfall, I should say, is expected, at least for today. Into tonight, light snow is possible. Still watch out for poor drainage areas. Streets, small creeks could be flooding. Widespread rainfall currently taking place on the radar right now, continuing to shift north and then eventually seeing another shift of that system as it pulls east. This is technically a nor'easter, but no snowfall expected from, at least heavy snowfall expected from the system, as all that cold air is still currently way out west in parts of Michigan. So the rainfall will continue this morning, lighting up by the afternoon with some scattered rain showers. Then by this evening, scattered rain showers turning over to light snow as those temperatures fall by Tuesday morning. And expect Tuesday to be on the snowy side with light snow showers here and there. And so for today, highs near 50 this morning, cooling down throughout the day. Tonight, down to the 20s and 30s, light rain and snow showers. Your 7-day forecast. After all this active weather today, things are going to be trending more quiet by the final day of fall, first day of winter, sunshine, temperatures in the upper 30s, and then by next weekend, still cool, but for the most part, it's looking quiet and no major system by Christmas, so I'd be surprised if we do see a white Christmas.
Very surprised, huh? Eric, thanks. Well, right now, a man who...
Now, you're watching News Channel 2 at 7 a.m. on CW 11 with Gary Liberatore.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on the CW11. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And lots of flood warnings coming in, especially for the city of Utica just in the past few minutes.
Yeah, that's right. You probably got a warning on your phone. It went off a little bit. It was, of course, mine was buzzing as soon as it went off. I'm going to explain all the details in just a minute or so. But yeah, behind us, we got some heavy rainfall taking place, some ponding on the roadways. And yes, and of course, we do have some flooding, flood warnings in effect. So let's take a look at those current conditions right now. We have some reds and some light greens. The reds indicate flash flood warnings. The greens indicate flood warnings, meaning that the light green flooding isn't happening just yet, but it is expected to happen, especially as we turn our attention to Oneida Creek and West Canada Creek out in Herkimer County. Those rivers and streams are expected to rise above flood stage this afternoon. But our attention primarily is in the city of Utica. We have a flash flood warning in effect until 10 a.m. There is heavy rain producing flash flooding in creeks and streams, and highways, streets, underpasses. And taking a look at downtown Utica on our Nexus camera. Still ponding on those roadways right now. You can see it not too bad in main areas, but again, ponding on possible, especially on the arterial too. Route 12, hard to see with the rain in the lens right there, but of course we are monitoring those conditions, monitoring area lakes and streams. Again, watch out for ponding on roadways. That's the biggest concern, at least for the immediate time frame within the next hour or so here in downtown Utica. Of course, another flash flood warning in effect for northwestern Otsego County right here, including parts of Edmiston, just outside of Burlington, Pittsfield, West Exeter, Garrettsville, Route 51. Again, watch out for ponding on those roads. And for today, of course, grab anything rain-wise, rain jacket, rain boots, of course the umbrella. Temperatures starting out in the upper 40s. The heaviest rainfall coming to an end. Light rain showers possible this evening with temperatures cooling down into the low 40s. We're going to be still keeping an eye on these flood warnings for the next half hour or so. And of course, we will be live on Facebook, WKTV Weather at 8 a.m. with any latest information. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, one person is recovering.
Good morning. Welcome back. We're taking a look at Sequoia Creek in Whitesboro. This is in the area of the flash flood warning. You can see the water is already up to the bridge and the rain is still falling. So just a heads up, if you do encounter flooded roads, turn around, don't drown. Most vehicle injuries and deaths occur from driving into flooded areas. Again, the flood the flash flood warning is in effect for the Utica area right here, including Marcy, Kirkland, Paris, and of course downtown Utica. Ponding on roadways is the most likely encounter, but again, watch out for flooded roads. Do not drive through them. We do have flood warnings, the light green here for Oneida Creek. It's not flooded just yet in some areas, but it will be expected to rise above flood stage this afternoon. Same thing for West Canada Creek over in Herkimer County. There's a flood warning in effect for there as well, as that is expected to also rise above flood stage this afternoon. And lastly, but not least, another flash flood warning in effect for the area of Route 51 in the town of Edmiston, Burlington, North Edmiston, parts of West Exeter, North Edmiston, and finally south in Pittsfield and Garrettsville. And you can see here in Utica, even though Route 5 isn't too bad, look at the ponding on the roadway right now. And you can see for other road conditions here all across central New York. Wet roads being the primary concern, but as you head closer to those flood-prone areas, watch out for flooding concerns. And you can see the widespread rain, the heaviest of it is over and done with. The worst of it has since pushed north, but still we're dealing with some light and moderate rain and snow showers at this point as this system continues to push east. And I'm just waiting on Gary right now. We're still looking at right here, again, if you're just tuning in, flash flood warning in effect for the Utica area until 10 a.m. And lastly, a flash flood warning in effect until 9 a.m. for the portion of northwestern Otsego County. Gary?
A lot to keep track of today. I know that flooding in Whitesboro is going to be pretty dangerous.
Yes, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. Well, in financial news, homeless.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. We are continuing to monitor situations across central New York this morning. First, though, we're taking a look at one area. This is a live view of Secoit Creek in Whitesboro. This is already approaching the bridge. It's already on the bottom of the bridge right now. And this area is also in a flash flood warning. And just a heads up, if you were heading out this morning, watch out for those flood-prone areas. Now, let's take a look at where everything is right now. The dark red right here, this maroon, this is a flash flood warning in effect for the Utica area, town of Paris, Whitestown, Whitesboro, parts of Utica, Kirkland, Marcy, Westmoreland. This area all is encompassed in this flash flood warning. Another flash flood warning in effect for Edmiston, Burlington, Garrettsville, Pittsfield, North Edmiston, Route 51. And then lastly, it's hard to see, so let me turn off the flood advisories. We do have flood warnings. These aren't as immediate, but still, flooding is possible in Oneida Creek right here in that light green area, as well as West Canada Creek over here in Herkimer County. And these are expected to rise above flood stage by this afternoon. This is already skyrocketing in rainfall right now in overall river levels. So we'll keep monitoring this, but this is looking to be a pretty wet situation here in central New York. Those rainfall totals are already up above 2 inches in several areas. 2 inches in Sherburne, near 2.5 inches of rain already in Woodgate. We're getting close to possibly half to maybe what we would expect an entire month worth of rain in just a few hours. So we're talking about ponding on roadways this morning. You can see this is Route 5, a live view in downtown Utica. Not too bad. If you are away from areas, rivers and creeks, the worst you'll see is ponding on roadways and poor drainage areas. But if you do encounter a flooded area near a creek or a stream, turn around, don't drive over it because you might not know how deep that water is. So again, flood advisories, warnings in effect through today. Watch out for flood-prone areas. Cannot stress that enough. Radar is showing widespread rainfall across central New York. The heaviest of this that produced all of this accumulation has since pushed north. We're still dealing with light rain showers here locally, light to moderate, but the moderate to heavy rainfall has since pushed north. Now, this final push out west will sweep east throughout the late morning, early afternoon, and so we're not done with flooding issues just yet. The good news is we're only dealing with rain showers. The cold air is very far away out in the west, and so this is a strong nor'easter only producing rain. And rain will continue for this morning, into this afternoon, and into this evening, lightening up though, before it switches over to light snow showers by Tuesday. And so for today, highs in the upper 40s, heavy rain this morning, lighting up this evening. Tonight, down in the 20s and 30s with light rain and snow showers. 7-day forecast looking quiet, finally, as we head into the first few days of winter.
The news comes first. News Channel 2.
Now at noon, some rain is still falling, but the major rainfall happened overnight, causing roads to be closed and many people pumping out basements. And when it rains like it did overnight, that means flooding in Whitesboro. We have a live report straight ahead from the neighborhood that has seen more than its fair share of flooding over the past several years. And some Notre Dame students making their school and their community proud today, making a special Christmas delivery.
Now, you're watching News Channel 2 at noon with Gary Liberator.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Monday. And we begin this Monday, sadly, with flooding. So much rain fell overnight and into this morning that many people today are dealing with flooded out basements. In some spots, about 2 inches to 3 inches of rain fell. And some of the major closures at this hour: the Dunham Public Library in Whitesboro is closed due to Main Street and the surrounding roads being closed. Also, the Utica Public Library is closed due to the flooding in their basement. And Route 5 in Kirkland is closed near Route 233, another flooding-prone area. Now, one of the most prone to flooding in the neighborhoods in the Mohawk Valley, it has flooded yet again. We're talking about the streets off of Main Street in Whitesboro. And this once again all due to the Sequoit Creek overflowing its banks. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris is live in that very neighborhood once again, where she has been many times before. Jolene, good afternoon to you.
Thank you, Gary. We're on Elmore in the village of Whitesboro, which leads to the real problem, which is Sequoit Street. You could take a look behind my left shoulder. The force of the water earlier knocked over the traffic cones, and you basically can't even see the road. Now, this has been the norm today, the Sequoit Creek being pumped out of people's basements. People who live here tell us it got bad early this morning when it was still dark out, which of course makes it even scarier. For those who live here, any rain is terrifying. The damage is familiar, but that doesn't make it any easier.
The basement's filled up, so that means, the furnace, the hot water tank, everything will be gone, electrical box. So, yeah, I mean, we knew it was only a matter of not if, but when.
The Sequoit Creek was touching the Main Street Bridge in Whitesboro this morning around 10, and as bad as that looks, village officials told us it was worse early this morning, 2 feet over the bridge. They had the marker right there. Right now, the water does seem to be receding, so they're hoping the worst is behind them, but still all around us right now, water is being pretty forcefully pumped out of basements. So we're thinking of all the people living in this area dealing with this yet again. Back to you.
Well, meteorologist Eric Gage joins us now. And Eric, some of the rainfall totals approaching 3 inches, right?
Yeah, that's right. Almost all of central New York are seeing rainfall totals around 2 inches, 2.5, and up near Boonville, Woodgate, West Line, that area right there, approaching almost 3 inches of rainfall. Now, on the map here, we got a lot of green, different shades of green and red. I'm going to break it down for us right now. So the light green, if you can catch the difference on your TV, I'm trying to figure out why the colors are so similar here from the warnings and advisories. But regardless, the light green in the West Canada Creek area in Herkimer County, that's a flood warning. Also another flood warning which is hidden behind this flash flood warning currently over in Oneida Creek out on the border of Madison and Oneida County. The red is a flash flood warning for pretty much all of Madison County, Otsego County, Madison County, Chenango County, and most of Oneida County. And this is until, depending on location, this one right now is until 2 p.m. in Oneida County, 2 p.m. Otsego County, 2 p.m. So pretty much all the area is seeing a flash flood warning until around 2 p.m. Now, main roads are okay. Ponding on roadways, not too bad, but the flash flood warnings are for areas that are prone to seeing this, producing at least a good amount of rainfall. There is a road closure that we're reporting right now, State Route 12B in the town of New Hartford between Middle Sullivan Road and State Route 5. That is closed due to flooding right there. Of course, earlier on, you just noticed that some other places are seeing flooding underneath those bridges. And for today, again, we're tracking the rest of the area. We're seeing what places are currently underwater, at least regarding the sides of the rivers here and there. But again, we'll keep an eye on those and we'll provide updates in our full forecast coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. And as you mentioned, the West Canada Creek is nearing its crest at this time. This is at the Cast Bridge on Route 7 in the outskirts of Herkimer heading toward Middleville. As Eric mentioned, so many eyes are on so many waterways as they could crest at some point this afternoon. Eric says the West Canada is near its peak at this point. And this is video of Oriskany Creek overflowing its banks in Clinton early this morning. These are the backyards of residents on Sanford Avenue. So again, be very careful if you are heading out. And of course, we'll have much more flooding coverage coming up in the next half hour. And Eric will have the latest on the weather throughout the day. And of course, you can always head to WKTV.com for the latest news and weather information any time of the day. Well, the other big story today, a security scare.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and welcome back. We're continuing to monitor area streams and creeks with the latest flood numbers right now. In fact, let's take a live view at Sequoia Creek on Main Street in Whitesboro. It has fallen. That's the good news. The water a few hours ago was actually hitting the bridge, and now it has lowered just a little bit. And with the rain starting to come to an end, still not done with the rain just yet, we'll slowly lower in rainfall as the levels continue to fall. So again for today, flash flood warnings in effect, minor to moderate flooding in flood-prone areas, creeks and rivers being the primary locations right now. And a look at flood warnings in effect. We currently have a flood warning for Oneida Creek at the numbers at 10.44 feet. Flood stage is at 11 feet, and it will expect to rise above it, crest at 12.3 feet, and then drop later on this afternoon and this evening. So it hasn't reached the peak just yet. Now, a different story as we turn our attention to West Canada Creek out in Herkimer County. At Cass Bridge at 6.5 feet, it already crested, so it is starting to fall. Good news for the areas downstream on West Canada Creek, again at Cass Bridge. But still, there is minor flooding going on right now. We do have a plethora of warnings across central New York. The dark red, the maroon, is a flash flood warning. Pretty much all of Oneida County, all of Otsego County, Madison County, Chenango County in that area as well. Those of you who live in flood-prone areas, of course, you could be seeing some minor to moderate flooding. Rainfall totals across central New York pretty much reached 2.5 inches for a lot of the area. 2.33 inches in Westmoreland, 2.83 inches up in Woodgate, 2.73 inches up in Old Forge. Some locations south of us near Binghamton reached 3 inches of total rainfall. And the rain is still falling, however, not as strong as it was last night. We're seeing this final band of rain push east over our area. And behind that, a few scattered rain showers, but again, nothing major than what we saw overnight this past night. And this is a pretty strong nor'easter. Technically, it is a nor'easter. However, no cold air in the vicinity. In fact, all that cold air is actually out to the west, now encapsulating the entire peninsula of Michigan. And this will bring with it some scattered snow showers in the forecast for tomorrow. And so for right now, again, some rain showers still taking place, turning to some scattered light rain showers this evening before temperatures cool and it turns over to light snow throughout the day for Tuesday. Maybe a trace, a little bit of snow on the lowest elevations in Utica and east and I-90 corridor, but areas south and the higher elevations could see a little more snow. And so for today, heavy morning rain showers gradually letting up by this afternoon. Highs cooling down. The high for the day today was this morning, down into the mid-40s right now. Tonight, upper 20s, low 30s, light rain and snow showers, 7-day forecast. After today, weather is looking, thankfully, more quiet. No flooding issues, no major snowstorm. Plenty of sunshine as we head into the final day of fall and the first day of winter. Gary?
Sadly, a lot of people cleaning up basements today yet again.
Fortunate.
Yep. Eric, thanks. Utica Mayor-elect Michael Galimi met with leaders of the black community in Utica this week. Welcome back. We begin this half hour once again with the weather. And Eric, some of the rain totals you mentioned pretty high. And this is video that you actually shot this morning, right?
Yeah, so I decided to go out and check out West Canada Creek on Cass Bridge. Here's a view of that just a short time ago. In fact, this is actually early in the morning, right around, actually, no, this is from Sequoia Creek, I should say. Get my videos messed up. I went around the entire area. This is Sequoia Creek. This is around the peak. Look at this right here. This is along Main Street in Whitesboro. You can see just how high the water levels were. Now, for this creek right now, it has lowered. Same for West Canada Creek. There is one location that is still going to continue to rise, maybe above flood stage. I'm going to check the latest numbers right now. And it still looks like it's rising. So Oneida Creek could rise above flood stage this afternoon. Here's another picture sent in from you guys. First, Whitesboro from Gianna. You can see just the extent of the flooding there. Also in Mohawk from Debbie, you can see Fulmer Creek there pretty flooded out as well. And we're not done with the rain just yet. You can see the end of it. It's finally here. It's ending through Oswego and finally pushing through parts of Onondaga County, and after that, within the next several hours, things will quiet down. We do have, of course, flood warnings, flash flood warnings in effect for a lot of the areas that are typical of seeing these conditions. And again, for today, highs this morning in the upper 40s, cooling down throughout the afternoon and this evening before we are tracking cooler weather, but much more quiet weather, thankfully, in the near horizon. Details on that coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. Brand new information this noon regarding that house explosion.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and welcome back. We're continuing to monitor area creeks and rivers. We do have some monitors going on behind the scenes right now. And before we do that, let's take a live view looking at Sequoia Creek in Whitesboro. And this is very good news. Very, very good news. The water was right along the edge of the bridge earlier on, a few hours ago. And it looks like the road is open now. And for those of you heading again on Main Street in Whitesboro Street, it's looking better. The river levels are going down. And taking a look at what to expect for today, well, again, flash flood warnings are still in effect. Minor to moderate flooding possible in flood-prone areas, creeks and rivers. And taking a look at a flood warning at Oneida Creek. It has not reached flood stage yet. It is expected to reach flood stage this afternoon. Crests at 12.3 feet and then drop later on this evening. The other good news, though, West Canada Creek. It is currently at 6.5 feet. Flood stage is at 6 feet, and it is already crested. We're seeing the decline right now. There is additional rain showers on the radar, but they aren't going to be strong enough to produce anything to significantly change that forecast for flooding concerns at West Canada Creek. So lots of greens, lots of reds. Basically, the whole thing is we got some flood warnings in effect for the area. And for the most part, this isn't really impacting your drive other than some closed roads on those areas near creeks and rivers that are flood prone. But if you were heading on roads, higher elevations that are drained very good, then you are not seeing any real impacts to your drive. But still, plenty of rainfall here today. 2.5 inches, roughly, for a lot of the area. In some locations, receiving up to 3 and even over 3 inches of rainfall. Now, a live view of downtown Utica. Roads are wet, but as you can see, there's no immediate travel concerns here. Again, on those main roads in downtown Utica, but still, we do have some rain showers pushing through from the west. This will continue to sweep east over the next several hours, but behind there, quiet conditions. A few scattered light rain showers, but the worst of it over and done with. This is a strong nor'easter, very strong nor'easter. If the temperatures are 20 degrees below what they are today, we could be talking about close to 2 feet of snow for a lot of the area. That cold air is thankfully dammed way out to the west, so although we're dealing with unfortunate flooding concerns, we're not dealing with widespread wet snow or any of those concerns with heavy snowfall. Skycast still showing rain showers continuing this afternoon, becoming more scattered this evening, and those temperatures cool overnight tonight, making way for some light snow showers for tomorrow. We're thinking not too much in terms of accumulation here in the valley, barely anything to trace to an inch west of or east of Utica, and some higher elevations, especially out near the Finger Lakes south of Syracuse, could see those higher totals. And so for today, highs already this morning, cooling down throughout the day. Those rain showers gradually letting up. Tonight down into the upper 20s, low 30s with some light rain and snow showers. 7-day forecast. After today, things are going to start quieting down. Some snow showers Tuesday, sunshine Wednesday, final day of fall. Thursday, some sunshine as well, first day of winter. And still looking relatively quiet heading into this coming weekend, into Christmas Eve and Christmas. Gary?
Lots of sun ahead.
Lots of sun, that's for sure.
Rare in December. Well, CIA Director William Burns is meeting with Israeli and Qatar.
Watching News Channel 2, live at 5 News Hour with Kristen Copeland and Jason Pallas.
Heavy rain brought flooding to 59 million people in the Northeast, including here at home.
We're going to check in on the areas most impacted, including along the Sequoia Creek and the West Canada Creek. But first, we have to stop in the Weather Center, where Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis is tracking on this alert day.
Yeah, very busy morning across central New York. The good news is the heavy rain is moving to the east, and we're going to be seeing improving conditions in our weather tonight. And flooding concerns are going to gradually recede. The floodwaters on their way down across the entire area as we head into this evening and into tonight. Rain showers turning over to snow showers as colder air starts to work in. And boy, we had a soaker. 2.5 to 3 inches of rain has fallen across the area, again, leading to widespread flooding issues. As we take a look at flood alerts, again, still dealing with some high waters, but again, things are heading in a different direction tonight as rain comes to an end. Rain switches over to some light snow tonight. Light snow lingers into Tuesday, and we are seeing some dry weather ahead, so some very good news as we look ahead. But again, this evening, we're going to continue to track a few rain showers, turning over some snow showers. Some light accumulations expected tonight. I've got to look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. This steady rain overnight and this morning was enough to push the Sequoia Creek over its banks into basements in the village of Whitesboro. This is a live look at the Main Street Bridge thanks to TAS Electronics, much better than this morning.
And for some, the sound of rain is soothing, but for people in some parts of the village, it's terrifying. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris reports.
You're looking at Sequoia Street in the village of Whitesboro. Just because this has gotten to be a familiar scene doesn't make it any easier to deal with for the people behind those floodwaters who once again have flooded basements, flooded homes, lost belongings, extra bills at the holidays. This was the Sequoia Creek in the village of Whitesboro around 10 o'clock this morning. This was the sound you heard on Ellis and Elmore near Sequoia Street in Whitesboro this morning. The sounds of the Sequoia Creek being pumped out of basements again.
The basement's filled up, so that means, you know, the furnace, the hot water tank, everything will be gone, electrical box. So, yeah, I mean, we knew it was only a matter of not if, but when.
It was a long night for the DPW. It started to get really bad early this morning in the dark, making it even scarier.
We had, our DPW was monitoring this throughout the evening, and then about 6 a.m. is when most of us from the village started actually being down here and monitoring and physically here watching.
Ron Lubier has another home. He doesn't live in this one, but he's not making any money on it either. He's losing money on it.
We won't rent it and we won't sell it to anyone because we don't want to sell the problem to anyone else. So here we are, what, 4 years later, still paying taxes. And they don't give you a break on them either.
For many, the last hope is a federal buyout.
From what we've heard, we're supposed to get an update by the end of the year. At this point now, I'm hoping we get an update this afternoon.
Well, this program, when we first announced it back in October 2020, and when the town of Whitestown and our partners with NRCS announced it, NRCS informed applicants that it would be about a 4-year process. So 4 years would be the end of 2024.
Not soon enough for the homeowners living this recurring nightmare. Jolene Ferris, News Channel 2.
In Kirkland, Route 5 remains closed between Route 233 and Limberlost Road due to flooding. Some cars did take the big risk and venture through the roadway. Never advised, as the pavement could be washed out. The flooding originated from the Oriskany Creek. Another smaller creek also left its banks and caused flooding in the parking lot of Kirkland Automotive Service. If you have pictures or video of the flooding, you can share them on the new upload section of WKTV.com.
Utica police are waiting for an autopsy.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good evening and welcome back. We continue to track floodwaters across the area. In general, most streams are on the way down, but there are a few that we're continuing to watch. One of them is the Oneida Creek. At Oneida, still at flood stage, still over flood stage, I should say, at 12.8 feet. So that's about 2 feet above flood stage. It's going to crest over the next couple of hours and then start to recede as we head into tonight. Another one we're watching that's above flood stage, the West Canada Creek. It's barely above flood stage, only a few inches above flood stage at Cass Bridge, and it's on its way down. So again, conditions are going to improve for most areas. The one thing we're going to be watching, larger bodies of water. They'll be rising tonight, and we could see some minor flooding along those. We're talking about the Mohawk River and Delta Lake in particular. We're not expecting any big issues here, but again, it's going to take some time for all that water to make its way into those larger bodies of water, so they'll be rising tonight. The good news, the most important news of all, is that the weather looks dry going forward. Aside from tonight, we do have some snow showers in the forecast. As colder air starts to work in, this is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. That cold air is going to cause a changeover from rain showers to snow showers as we head into tonight. We're going to see these snow showers linger into tomorrow, but again, snow versus rain, definitely an improvement when you're trying to avoid any additional flooding, and we're not expecting any big issues going forward. A live look in downtown Utica, again, still looking at cloudy skies and some rain showers. Again, this area of low pressure is a big one, bringing very heavy rainfall right across central New York into the east. Snow showers are in its wake, and this colder air will drain in from the west, and that will bring us some very light snow tonight and tomorrow. The snowfall forecast, again, a trace to an inch of snow in the lower elevations. The hilltops could see an inch or two of accumulation. But the big thing is, as we fall below freezing tonight, do watch out for some icy spots. Again, with a lot of floodwaters receding, there could be some standing water that freezes over tonight. Just something to keep in mind through tomorrow as temperatures will be below freezing. Rain showers turn over to snow showers tonight. Temperatures drop down into the upper 20s. It's a windy and chilly day tomorrow. Some light snow showers and flurries. These will not cause any big travel issues or any headaches on the roadways. The weather dries out for tomorrow night, and we're looking at clear skies and some chilly weather heading into Wednesday. Rain and snow showers tonight, low temperature of 30. Tomorrow, some light snow showers. Temperatures climb into the low 30s, a breezy afternoon. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Again, generally dry, sunny weather for the rest of the week. Temperatures in the 30s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And for those of you traveling towards Christmas time, right now things are looking okay. Dry weather, temperatures in the 40s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And coming up in a few minutes, we're going to talk about those larger bodies of water and what we can expect over the next 24 hours.
And you spoke about Cass Bridge. We're going to have some footage. Hopefully this footage was when the creek was at its worst. But we're going to have that coming up in the minutes ahead as well.
All right, thanks, Bill. Several food recalls to bring you up to date. Holiday travel week is off to a stormy start. Several states in the Northeast are under various rain, wind, and flooding alerts. Airport lines growing longer as a result, all reminiscent of last year's holiday week travel chaos that started with storms. Laura Aguirre reports.
Went inside, opened the door, all kinds of smoke, debris. My son was having a minor panic attack. Tim Walsh lost 3 vehicles to a massive tree falling across his Massachusetts driveway. He's one of millions along the eastern seaboard coping with heavy rain, damaging winds, and flooding over the next several hours. Forecasters say most flood watches and wind alerts across the region could ease by Monday evening, but the northern East Coast, Massachusetts up to Maine, could stay drenched through Tuesday morning. This also means air travel delays. At one point Monday, more than 2,500 flights were delayed or canceled in the U.S. It was around this time last year that bad weather touched off a massive 10-day scheduling meltdown at Southwest Airlines.
Let me be clear, we messed up.
That was the carrier's chief of operations in February, explaining to lawmakers why nearly 17,000 flights were canceled, stranding more than 2 million passengers around the holiday. Now the Department of Transportation is leveling a record $140 million fine against the carrier, citing several violations including inadequate customer service and refund delays. Southwest says it's pleased to have reached a settlement with the DOT, calling it consumer-friendly and committed to customer service in a statement to CNN.
This sends a message that every airline has to make the proper investments in having a good enough system and good enough customer service.
Systems and service that may be put to the test as the holiday week gets off to a rainy, rocky start. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Now, on days like today, we don't like to stay away from the Weather Center for very long. Let's get you back to Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
All right, we're talking about larger bodies of water and specifically looking at 2 spots. The Mohawk River at Delta Dam, so this is Delta Lake. Right now, it's at 548 feet. Then that's the river stage, the river gauge measurement. The numbers are not important, but it's the flood stage and the difference between where it's at now versus flood stage. It's expected to crest 1 foot below flood stage by Wednesday. So if you're living near this body of water, expect it to rise and expect it to rise for the next 24 hours. But the forecast is for this to get very close to flood stage but stay just beneath it. So we're just going to be very cautious and aware of what's going on there, as well as the West Canada Creek at Hinckley. Now we talk about Cass Bridge. As we go upstream towards the dam, this is the conditions now. So the water level is at 1216. It's expected to go up to 1226. So that's a 10-foot rise expected between now and Wednesday. Again, expect the water levels to rise as all the flooding, all the floodwaters today from the smaller streams go into the larger streams. But as you can see, this should be just below flood stage by Wednesday. Again, we're going to continue to watch these because it's going to be really close. But going forward, floodwaters recede tonight. And we'll be watching the larger bodies of water here over the next 2 days. Dry weather ahead, so the weather should not continue to cause any additional flooding. In fact, we are tracking some drier weather as we head beyond tonight and tomorrow, because we do have some snow showers to track too. Look at your forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. We're checking in on more of the region's flood-prone areas. When we come back, we'll head to western Oneida County, and we'll check in on flood concerns in Herkimer County as the West Canada Creek rose today.
And homeowners along Route 26 and Stokes Lee Center Road in the town of Lee took matters into their own hands to hold back the floodwaters.
Now remember the flooding of 2021, no one wanted to relive that. Here's News Channel 2's Katrina Smith.
After getting flooded out in 2021, residents and business owners are investing in precautionary measures like sandbags to protect their investments for the future.
We've been arguing since 2021 when we flooded out. We had about $50,000 worth of damage to our finished basement, which I haven't even had the heart to start refinishing. And I'm glad I didn't, because here we are again.
Back in 2021, Herman Wilson Jr. and 5 others watched yards become ponds with damage to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars.
We end up like this. I have to run sump pumps for days, and it's not right. We're looking for answers. We keep getting the runaround. Nobody wants to give us a straight answer.
Full Throttle Power Sports LLC filled with water in 2021. The owner told us off camera he spent tens of thousands on grading and parking to keep the water out, even putting sandbags up ahead of this rain. This water you see here was all the way up to the sandbags just a few hours ago. The hope is that it continues to recede from here. Who have you reached out to?
State of New York, DEC, who wanted to do a great big environmental impact study because they care more about crayfish and salamanders than they do someone's home.
The county legislator for the district and town officials agree a piece of private property needs to be dredged, which requires a permit from the DEC. The residents hired a private company to dig a trench Monday morning.
He dug a ditch probably 3 feet deep, 4 feet wide to divert the water for us.
So you took matters into your own hands?
Absolutely. And the state can't say anything because it's on private property, the ditch is.
But Wilson says culverts are an issue too.
I want to see the culverts appropriately sized so that the water can flow. That's all it is.
Reporting in Lee, Katrina Smith, News Channel 2.
And before we get you back to the Weather Center, let's check out some of this footage from the West Canada Creek. This is Cast Bridge on Route 7 in the outskirts of Herkimer. This was when the levels were at their worst for the day, so right up against it.
So we hope, right, Bill? Not getting any worse, right?
Well, no. Most of us, at least the really bad flooding is receding. That took place along smaller bodies of water, streams, creeks. There are still a few spots to talk about. It's the bigger bodies of water which will not see the same flooding that the smaller bodies saw. It just takes a little while for all this water to go where it's supposed to. And we did get a lot of rainfall. In fact, as we tally the numbers up, 2.5 to 3 inches of rain. And this is easily one of the largest rainfalls we've had in the month of December, because usually in December it's snowing. And when you do get rain, it's in a very cold environment. One of the difference makers over the last 24 hours, temperatures were in the 40s, and that warmer air has an ability to hold more water compared to colder air. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Still seeing some scattered rain showers. These turn over to snow showers this evening as temperatures continue to cool off. If you are taking the dog out for a walk, and just be careful, there's still some ponding on roadways. Temperatures will be in the 40s this evening. Our tonight's featured dog, Tassie from Little Falls. This is brought to you by Nye Automotive Group. We're tracking some drier weather, some much needed drier weather ahead. We'll look at your forecast is coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Bill, thank you. In case you missed it,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good evening. We are continuing to monitor area streams and rivers as heavy rain starts to make its way into larger bodies of water. We are still seeing flooding along Oneida Creek at Oneida. The latest measurement from the river gauge from the USGS measures 13.3 feet, which is 2 feet above flood stage. And from what the information is showing, it's cresting now or shortly in the future, which means this evening things will start to recede. We're also watching and keeping a very close eye on West Canada Creek at Cast Bridge. And I'm going to go ahead and take a look at some of the newest information there and just push the refresh button to give you the newest information. So now it's below flood stage. It's now, well, technically 5.97, which is just barely below flood stage. And it's going to continue to recede as we head into this evening. Our headlines here, again, continue to watch larger bodies of water like Delta Lake, along with Hinkley Dam. As water continues to move from smaller bodies to larger bodies, these areas will rise over the next 24 to 36 hours. We're not expecting any additional flooding here, but there could be some minor issues. The most important thing is the weather looks dry. We're getting into a dry weather pattern. We do have some snow showers in the forecast for tonight, but again, snow versus rain, that's a difference maker in terms of flooding. We're going to continue to see some scattered rain and snow showers here as we head into this evening and tonight. It's a live look in downtown Utica. As temperatures cool off, we do have to watch any standing water could end up freezing over tonight as temperatures fall below freezing. Skywatchers checking in. We've got temperature reports along with rainfall measurements. 2.5 inches in Clinton today. Forestport, 2.88 inches of rainfall. Mohawk, just under 2.5 inches. Same thing with Newport. Curtis with a temperature of 38. 2.5 inches of rain in Milford, and just over 2.25 inches in Hartwick. Just about everyone saw at least 2 inches. Some places pushing 3 inches of rain across the entire area over the last 24 hours. Good riddance to this storm system swinging to the north and east, bringing the heavy rain into Maine and out into Canada. It does leave behind some scattered snow showers, and we could see a very minor accumulation of snow tonight and tomorrow, maybe an inch or two in the hilltop locations. But again, as temperatures fall below freezing, there could be some icy spots developing with standing water. Scattered snow showers tonight, overnight lows in the low 30s, light snow tomorrow. Chilly, breezy day with temperatures in the low 30s. We'll get a chance to dry out as we move ahead. Rain and snow showers tonight, low of 30. Snow showers tomorrow, a breezy and chilly day with a high of 34. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Again, much needed dry weather as we head throughout the week. Sunshine too, temperatures in the 30s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We climb into the 40s heading into the weekend as well as Christmas. We'll be right back.
Watching News Channel 2 at 6 with Kristen Copeland and Jason Palace.
People in multiple areas of Oneida County woke to flooding today after steady rain overnight and into the morning.
Whitesboro, Clinton, Lee Center, Vernon, that's just to name a few. Yards looking like ponds and pumps working overtime to keep nearby creeks out of homes. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris starts us off tonight.
You're looking at Sequoia Street in the village of Whitesboro. Just because this has gotten to be a familiar scene doesn't make it any easier to deal with for the people behind those floodwaters who once again have flooded basements, flooded homes, lost belongings, extra bills at the holidays.
The basement's filled up, so that means, you know, the furnace, the hot water tank, everything will be gone, electrical box. So, yeah, I mean, we knew it was only a matter of not if, but when.
Ron Loubier is lucky in that he has another home and doesn't live in his flooded house in the village of Whitesboro. He's unlucky in that he's not making any money on this house, but continually losing money on it.
We won't rent it and we won't sell it to anyone because we don't want to sell the problem to anyone else. So here we are, what, 4 years later, still paying taxes. And they don't give you a break on them either.
It was a long night for the village DPW.
We had our DPW was monitoring this throughout the evening, and then about 6 a.m. is when most of us from the village started actually being down here and monitoring and physically here watching.
It was a long day for homeowners pumping the Sequoia Creek out of their basements. Still looming, a federal buyout of the flood-ravaged homes.
From what we've heard, we're supposed to get an update by the end of the year. At this point now, I'm hoping we get an update this afternoon.
NRCS informed applicants that it would be about a 4-year process. So 4 years would be the end of 2024. We are in a position where closing should occur by the end of 2024. So we are going to be communicating with applicants again in the near future, hopefully with a tentative timeline.
Not soon enough for homeowners living this recurring nightmare. Jolene Ferris, News Channel 2.
Check out this video from the West Canada Creek. This is Cast Bridge on Route 7 in the outskirts of Herkimer. This is when the levels were at their worst for the day.
Let's get you over to the Weather Center. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. He's been watching the numbers, watching the radar all day.
Yeah, well, the worst of it is behind us, but there are still a few places that we need to highlight tonight as the floodwaters go from smaller bodies to larger bodies over the next 24 to 36 hours. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Rain showers are much lighter now and much less widespread. In fact, as colder air works in, this does turn over to snow tonight. And boy, did we get a soaker. 2.5, 3 inches of rain over the past 24 hours across our local area. In fact, nobody got less than 2 inches of rain. So this was a heavy rainfall that was widespread. The highest number, Alder Creek, 3.2 inches, that measurement from Nicole. Flood alerts continue. The flood watch has been dropped. So again, we're not expecting any additional flash flooding, but the larger bodies of water will be rising as we head into tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night. Rain changes over to light snow. Light snow continues through Tuesday. We do have some minor accumulations from that. But again, the best news of all, we have a stretch of dry weather ahead as we head into the week. Rain and snow showers this evening, temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. The temperatures will be cooling off tonight. Again, we're tracking against some bodies of water that will be rising. We'll break down the specific ones that we're going to be watching, and that's coming up. Back over to you.
Bill, thank you. We're learning new information tonight on what led to a...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good evening. We continue to keep an eye on the radar this evening, and also I wanted to start out by looking at some specific rivers and streams that are experiencing flooding. It's continuing at Oneida Creek and at Oneida. The current level is 2 feet above flood stage, and it's on its way down. It has recently crested, and the floodwaters will be lowering as we head into this evening as well as tonight. We're watching 2 larger bodies of water as here. Long story short with flooding. Flooding starts, the smaller streams get impacted first, and then the floodwaters get into larger bodies, so there's kind of a delay here. The Mohawk River at Delta, if you live along Delta Lake, expect it to rise over the next 24 hours. It should rise just below flood stage, but it's going to be pretty close. So if you live along here, keep an eye on things. The other body of water to watch is Hinkley Dam. Again, same idea. It's going to rise over the next 24 to 36 hours. It should rise 10 feet. That's what the projection is. And it should be just below flood stage. It's really close. So if you live by these areas, just keep an eye on things for the next 24 to 36 hours. Big story is, as we go forward, most areas are going to see improvements in floodwaters as they recede. Again, the larger bodies will still watch as we head into tonight and tomorrow. But with dry weather ahead, we're expecting conditions to overall improve over the next couple of days. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Some scattered light rain showers continue, but they're not as heavy as they were earlier today. Live look in downtown Utica. Sky watchers, big rainfall numbers across the board. Clinton, 2.5 inches of rain, almost 3 inches of rain in Forestport, 2.5 inches of rain in Newport, as well as Milford, 2.25 inches of rain in Hartwick. So you look at the radar and satellite image. Again, heavy rain continues to lift to the north and east with this large storm that has driven our weather for the past 24 hours. We'll see some scattered snow showers in its wake. We're expecting a trace to 2 inches of snowfall over the next 12 hours here. The lower elevations generally see a trace to an inch. The hilltops could pick up an inch or 2 of snowfall. The bigger story, though, with temperatures falling below freezing tonight, we do have to watch for any standing water that could freeze over and create some black ice. So a couple of things to watch here as temperatures drop tonight. Overnight lows start out, drop down into the upper 20s, so we'll start out in the upper 20s tomorrow morning. We're expecting the weather to remain pretty quiet tomorrow, just a few light snow showers and flurries, breezy and cold. We'll see some sunshine here as we head into the end of the week. Rain and snow showers tonight, low of 30. Light snow showers tomorrow, again, just a light accumulation, high of 34. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Lots of sunshine ahead, temperatures in the 30s. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. For those of you traveling, the weather looks pretty quiet as we head into Christmas, the weekend before Christmas, and Christmas Day, temperatures to be in the low 40s.
If you're going to Grandma's house, you got a smooth sailing.
Looking good.
All right, thanks, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6.
The Cooperstown Cam is brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
Homeowners along Stokes-Lee Center Road in the town of Lee took flood matters into their own hands when they heard the rain was coming.
Town and county officials agree on the source of the flooding, but say a state permit is needed to dredge private property to put a stop to it. News Channel 2's Katrina Smith reports.
Homeowners we spoke with took the proactive measure of hiring a backhoe to come in and dig a trench beyond that tree line behind me to alleviate a situation they knew was sure to happen with the rain coming.
We paid them to dig a ditch parallel to the brook to keep the water from running into our properties.
Today?
Yes, this morning.
Town of Lee and Oneida County officials agreed dredging is necessary, but they'd need state DEC permits because it's private property. So private residents took action to protect their property.
The last time I actually watched a wave of water come across the backyard. It hit the leach field, it stalled out for a couple of minutes, and then it came with vengeance.
One homeowner we spoke to says the water you see here around me is the result of a culvert back here that is the wrong size.
I have fought with the county and other people about getting the road culverts appropriately sized for the amount of water that needs to go through.
Town, county, and Rome City officials are aware there's a problem along Stokes-Lee Center Road and Route 26, but have yet to come to an agreement on the solution.
They tore it all up, left it closed, and 3 days after they ripped it up, I see them trucking all the equipment out. And they did nothing. They left it like that for months. And I called, and I called, and I called. Other people called. And they finally came and they patched everything and says, we'll deal with it next year. And I told them, there's going to be hell to pay if we flood.
Homeowners are just looking for answers so that the next time rain comes, their backyards don't turn into ponds like this. Reporting in the town of Lee, Katrina Smith, News Channel 2.
In Kirkland, Route 5 remains closed between Route 233 and Limberlost Road due to flooding there. Some cars did take the big risk and venture through the roadway, never advised as pavement could be washed out underneath. The flooding originated from the Oriskany Creek. Another smaller creek also left its banks, and that caused flooding in the parking lot of Kirkland Automotive Service.
Notre Dame students and the Oneida County District Attorney's Office and
Watching News Channel 2 at 10 on CW11 with Jason Pallas.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's been quite the last 24 hours with the floodwaters now subsiding mostly. But what comes next? That's where Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis steps in. We're looking at right now the Moose River. Where do we stand flood-wise?
Well, really, it's about the larger bodies of water. As all this runoff goes into larger streams, larger rivers, they start to rise. So we get this delayed effect in floodwaters. The Moose River at McKeever is causing some road closures up this way, cresting tonight. So it goes up to 13 feet. Running some of the rainfall numbers, this was one of the largest rainfalls we've had in the month of December. I think there was only one time that we've had more, and depending on how much rain we get over the next 2 hours, we might end up going over that. So definitely one for the record books. We're still going to put that piece together over the next couple of days. But let's talk about what's going on now. Thankfully, a break in the weather. We haven't had any significant rain for the past several hours, which is good. That's really going to help the situation improve in terms of flooding. As we take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, some light snow showers are moving in from the north, and we will be talking about some light snow tonight. Temperature-wise, 39 degrees, the southwest wind at 6 miles an hour, and it does get colder tonight as winds turn into the northwest. We're expecting some scattered snow showers, and those will continue through tomorrow morning with some light accumulation. We're going to take a look at that and some much-needed quiet weather ahead. A look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Multiple areas dealt with flooding today, from Kirkland to the town of Lee, Verona, areas in Herkimer County as well. That steady rain overnight and this morning was enough to push the Sequoia Creek over its banks into basements. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris reports from a flood-prone area in the village of Whitesboro.
You're looking at Sequoia Street in the village of Whitesboro. Just because this has gotten to be a familiar scene doesn't make it any easier to deal with for the people behind those floodwaters who once again have flooded basements, flooded homes, lost belongings, extra bills at the holidays. This was the Sequoia Creek in the village of Whitesboro around 10 o'clock this morning. This was the sound you heard on Ellis and Elmore near Sequoia Street in Whitesboro this morning. The sounds of the Sequoia Creek being pumped out of basements again.
The basement's filled up, so that means, you know, the furnace, the hot water tank, everything will be gone, electrical box. So, yeah, I mean, we knew it was only a matter of not if, but when.
It was a long night for the DPW. It started to get really bad early this morning in the dark, making it even scarier.
We had our DPW was monitoring this throughout the evening, and then about 6 a.m. is when most of us from the village started actually being down here and monitoring and physically here watching.
Ron Lubier has another home. He doesn't live in this one, but he's not making any money on it either. He's losing money on it.
We won't rent it and we won't sell it to anyone because we don't want to sell the problem to anyone else. So here we are, what, 4 years later, still paying taxes. And they don't give you a break on them either.
For many, the last hope is a federal buyout.
From what we've heard, we're supposed to get an update by the end of the year. At this point now, I'm hoping we get an update this afternoon.
Well, this program, when we first announced it back in October 2020, and when the town of Whitestown and our partners with NRCS announced it, NRCS informed applicants that it would be about a 4-year process. So 4 years would be the end of 2024.
Not soon enough for the homeowners living this recurring nightmare. Jolene Ferris, News Channel 2.
Now, if you have pictures or video of the flooding, you can share them on the new upload section of WKTV.com. New tonight is the village of
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening and welcome back. We are taking a live look outside from our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The heavy rain that we saw earlier today has come to an end, and we are going to be seeing improving conditions in our local weather. We have a few things to pass along. The Oneida Creek, we've been keeping track of flooding in our area, is now heading below flood stage, or at least it will be soon. It's receding. It crested earlier today at 13.3 feet, which is over 2 feet above flood stage, but conditions here are getting better. The Mohawk River at Delta Dam, so that would be Delta Lake, the waters are rising here. So the bigger bodies of water are starting to fill up as it takes time for floodwaters to go from smaller streams and creeks to larger bodies of water. So we're going to continue to watch this one. This may approach flood stage. It's expected to be just below flood stage, but it's really close. Another spot we're watching, Hinckley. The Hinckley Dam, West Canada Creek, the levels have been going up. We're expecting levels to continue to rise. We think this is going to go up another 7 feet between now and Wednesday, and it's expected to be just below flood stage. But again, these numbers are just estimates. These are going to be very close to spilling over their banks, and if they do, we'll let you know. If you live by larger bodies of water, continue to monitor the situation, because again, some minor flooding is possible. The good news is, with dry weather ahead, that is going to help the situation. We're not expecting any additional flooding from the smaller bodies of water that we saw earlier today anytime soon. Again, things look quiet on the radar this evening. We do expect to see some light snow and also slippery surfaces. With temperatures falling below freezing tonight, any standing water could turn slippery as this storm system finally departs. Trace 2 inches of snow expected tonight and tomorrow, so very light accumulation is expected. And again, those snow showers look to develop after midnight. Temperatures fall below freezing. Again, some icy spots are possible as we head into tomorrow morning. Heading into tomorrow afternoon, clouds give way to some sunshine late. And we're looking at a cold night tomorrow night, along with some dry weather heading into the end of the week. Rain and snow showers overnight, low of 30. Tomorrow, light snow showers, 34 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Sunshine as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Temperatures in the 30s. For those of you traveling Christmas or Christmas weekend, temperatures will be in the low 40s. The weather looks dry, and Santa's going to be happy. He wanted to be dealing with any weather in his travels.
Might need air conditioning for that.
Yeah.
All right, now, I want you to take a look at this video, and this is right up your alley, Bill. A volcano in southwest Iceland erupted. How far were you from this back in October?
When we went to the Blue Lagoon, it was literally across the street.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, they had to evacuate about 4,000 people in the fishing town of Grindavik. So you've been in that area. And look at this. This is an amazing video, like of an actual eruption.
What's amazing is that they captured the beginning of that. They knew this. They had about a 15-minute heads up that this was going to happen.
Wow.
And they were able to catch the beginning of that volcanic eruption.
And you got to see it here. We'll be right back.
Watching News Channel 2 at 11 with Jason Powers.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It's been quite the last 24 hours. Now that the floodwaters are subsiding and at least the creeks, what comes next? Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Keeping an eye on the Moose River tonight. You say it's going to peak at what time?
Very soon. We're thinking it's going to be over the next couple of hours. What we're seeing tonight is all of the floodwaters from earlier today that went through small bodies of water, streams, creeks. They're starting to fill up the larger bodies of water. And so there's a delay in what larger bodies of water experience in terms of flooding. This is one spot that's seeing some ongoing issues tonight. There's a few others that we're going to be watching, including Delta Lake as well as Hinkley Dam. As, again, we're dealing with that delayed response in floodwaters. Let's take a live look outside. Of course, the best news of all is that the heavy rain has stopped and we're expecting dry weather. So that is going to really mitigate any additional concerns going forward. Live look at the Erickville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A few light snow showers are dropping in from the north. Temperature-wise, we're 37 degrees, mostly cloudy. A cold front rolls through tonight, and that's going to knock temperatures down and bring us some light snow showers here as we head towards tomorrow morning. We're tracking some light snowfall late tonight and early tomorrow, and we're also tracking some drier weather ahead. I'll look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Multiple areas dealt with flooding today, from Kirkland, the town of Lee, Verona, areas in Herkimer County as well. That steady rain overnight and this morning was enough to push the Secoit Creek over its banks into basements. News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris reports from a flood-prone area in the village of Whitesboro.
You're looking at Secoit Street in the village of Whitesboro. Just because this has gotten to be a familiar scene doesn't make it any easier to deal with for the people behind those floodwaters who once again have flooded basements, flooded homes, lost belongings, extra bills at the holidays. This was the Secoit Creek in the village of Whitesboro around 10 o'clock this morning. This was the sound you heard on Ellis and Elmore near Secoit Street in Whitesboro this morning. The sounds of the Secoit Creek being pumped out of basements again.
The basement's filled up, so that means, you know, the furnace, the hot water tank, everything will be gone, electrical box. So, yeah, I mean, we knew it was only a matter of not if, but when.
It was a long night for the DPW. It started to get really bad early this morning in the dark, making it even scarier.
We had, our DPW was monitoring this throughout the evening, and then about 6 a.m. is when most of us from the village started actually being down here and monitoring and physically here watching.
Ron Lubier has another home. He doesn't live in this one, but he's not making any money on it either. He's losing money on it.
We won't rent it and we won't sell it to anyone because we don't want to sell the problem to anyone else. So here we are, what, 4 years later, still paying taxes. And they don't give you a break on them either.
For many, the last hope is a federal buyout.
From what we've heard, we're supposed to get an update by the end of the year. At this point now, I'm hoping we get an update this afternoon.
Well, this program, when we first announced it back in October 2020, and when the town of Whitestown and our partners with NRCS announced it, NRCS informed applicants that it would be about a 4-year process. So 4 years would be the end of 2024.
Not soon enough for the homeowners living this recurring nightmare. Jolene Ferris, News Channel 2.
If you have pictures or video of the flooding, you can share them on the new upload section of our website, WKTV.com. New tonight, is the village of Herkimer considering the elimination of school resource?
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are continuing to follow river levels across central New York as water goes from smaller bodies to larger bodies tonight. So we're watching two spots in particular, the Mohawk River at Delta Dam, so that would be Delta Lake, the stage right now is about 2 feet below flood stage. It's expected to get very close to flood stage by Wednesday, cresting just beneath it. It's going to be a close call here, but if you live by Delta Lake, there might be some very minor flooding by Wednesday. Also, West Canada Creek, this time at Hinkley, so the Hinkley Dam, the levels are rising rapidly. Right now, this level is still several feet below the dam, but it's expected to climb about 8 feet between now and Wednesday. So do expect waters along here to rapidly rise over the next 24 hours. This should be just below flood stage, but again, these are very loose numbers here. You'll want to keep an eye on things. And I think, again, with floodwaters receding tonight in areas that saw it earlier today, we're going to keep an eye on the larger bodies as they continue to rise. The best news of all is that the weather's dry, which means that's not going to cause any big problems going forward. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. We do have a few light rain and snow showers approaching from the west. But again, for now, things look quiet in downtown Utica. One other thing to watch, surfaces that are wet. As temperatures fall below freezing tonight, it could turn a little bit icy. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, again, tracking some light snow tonight, thinking a general trace to 2 inches of accumulation. This develops after midnight tonight, and the snow will be lasting through tomorrow. Again, it's just a light accumulation with hilltops getting an inch or two and the valley locations getting less than an inch. Again, the snow showers arrive tonight. Overnight lows drop into the low 30s. Again, could be some icy spots where standing water is still around in the morning. Temperatures will remain in the low 30s throughout the day. Cold and blustery snow showers in the morning, some sunshine late in the day, and then a clearing trend is expected heading into the middle of the week. Rain and snow showers tonight, low temperature of 30. Some light snow showers around tomorrow, especially early, a high of 34. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Sunshine in abundance as we head into the middle and end of the week. Temperatures in the 30s. For those of you traveling around Christmas, right now the weather looks pretty quiet. Temperatures in the low 40s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
We'll take that. I want you to see something. Take a look at this video. A volcano in southwest Iceland erupted. It was caught on video, Bill.
It's wild. Absolutely wild.
This is rare.
They had about a 15-minute heads up that this volcano was going to erupt, and they were right. They were able to get the cameras in position, and that is just an amazing sight. We were there for the holiday vacations Iceland trip in October, and we were at the Blue Lagoon, which is, it's like literally right across the street. You can see it from the Blue Lagoon.
And they had to evacuate 4,000 people in that town.